see if there's a fucking chat this time.
Somebody.
Right. Are we live? It says
somebody's on their webcam
mic.
Somebody's on their webcam mic. I can hear the background.
I can too.
Is it not are you sure it's... Wait.
Or is it Butts?
Look, I already went live, guys, all right? It probably is me. No, you probably hear my loud-ass washing machine.
We're live? You didn't play the intro.
Yeah, we're live. I said we're going live. Jesus.
He did say we're going live. This is on you,
but I assumed we're going live meant you then do the intro.
Well, who the fuck uses an intro?
What's cracking? Welcome to the Short Bus, everybody.
Tons of people use intros. Who uses an intro? Is that a real statement you made?
Holy shit, my washer's loud as hell, man.
Hey, there is in fact a chat. Watch, I can type racial slurs.
Now I have to fucking
okay, is there?
Link
yes. Yes, there is a chat now.
I just typed a racial slur. It just says racial slurs.
Thank you.
Good one.
Thank you. I'm trying to make sure I can get in there. Or see these comments.
Me too, buddy.
All right, let me see. All right. If anyone's even watching, my freaking subs, I'll put my email list there if you want to sign up for any of my projects. Thank you. No mod for you. No.
I need to share or then you share all my links.
Wait, I have to.
Oh, wait, I need to change my account. I need to get into my actual account.
Whatever. All right, fuck it. Let's just get into one of the topics right now. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is a little Twitter thing. I can't get the link shared out and whatnot and everything like that and try to like produce as well. It ain't happening. That's too many things for me to focus on. I'm way too autistic for that shit. Okay. Let's see. We got a tweet here from a special person, right? You guys, if you guys can read that.
This. Yeah.
I don't know. Did any of you guys see? Yeah, you saw this? All right. So somebody decided to read Kingdom Come, very popular comic. I've never read it, but the art is very recognizable. But this person says, does anyone else think the undertones in this book about the young people are ruining society and the only way to make things better is a return to Christianity and traditional values are kind of weird? What do you got to say about that, BS Warren? Are you even here?
Yes, I am here. Yeah, I am here. Yeah.
All right.
Could you tell I'm sending DMs on Twitter? Yeah. So I confess I haven't read Kingdom Come myself.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. I'm a filthy heretic. Anyway, not the Neil Druckmann kind that cuts their boobs off, but the kind that doesn't read Kingdom Come. Anyway, but yeah, this is probably so. I will say I am one of probably many Zoomers who are Gen Z people who are not are pretty fed up with getting shit on by old people all the fucking time. But this is this girl's a crackhead. Sorry. This guy is a crackhead. Whatever this thing is, biologically, because there's
biologically
only two
crackhead. You say?
Yeah. You know, I've got to say, I don't know what country that flag is from, but everyone there is really ugly.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just like
you
can tell this is someone who's like, it's really weird. So weird basically means anything that could be seen as not even either right wing or not far left. Like right, anything that's not her worldviews is weird and is the other and needs to be destroyed. It's really like the way they phrase things. It's like everything that's not them is like.
Well, no, weird is problematic light. It's basically, hey, come look and tell me if I'm not wrong and this is problematic. This is basically them. This is their bat signal for the woke mind virus. It's like, hey, I'm gonna say weird, and that means you go investigate and see if we should be outraged by this or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, their whole concept of weird is completely backwards. If anything, Christianity, and I'm not a Christian, grew up Catholic, but it's like that's the opposite of weird. That I mean, we're talking thousands of years, guys. Come on, like, and that's kind of influenced the entire standard of our culture. So I mean, like that's literally the opposite of weird. What are you talking about?
Yeah, we're in an American country.
What did they say?
Yes, we are an
Judeo-Christian-
American country, Vaughn.
Right. Well,
That's
you know
very
what
accurate.
what I meant to say is like we're in a it's all right. That was dumb. What I meant is yeah, we're in America. It's like they want it to be where monkey style. Anything that could be seen as like old has to be vilified and demonized. And if you like, I remember hearing this kind of stuff in class. They like equate it all to Nazism. It's like, well, Nazis like old things. Okay, so by that logic, so if you have like, let's say you have one view that's somewhat, even not the exact view, but in the same vein as like a Nazi. That means everything you think is that? No, it's like you could argue that with anything. Like if someone goes, I like unions. I don't assume that they're like in favor of gulags, right? Like it's just crazy. The stuff
I do.
Well, this all ties back to a lovely little concept known as Gnosticism. I'm not gonna get out my minor degree in philosophy over here, but basically, it's the basic worldview of a lot of things like Judaism and communism, heavily rooted in Gnosticism.
Well, there's Gnosticism, as in they're like not atheists, not religious. They're like
no, that's agnostic. Bat sauce.
Yeah, that's
agnostic.
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
No, agnostic is just straight up. You don't like you're blasé about everything. That you don't. There's maybe a god, maybe there isn't. I don't know. But no, I mean like legit Gnosticism is like God was a like a snake or something like that. That is evil. But it came from like what you don't think this is actual Gnosticism?
No, Gnosticism is God and something else created the universe, and then this something else betrayed God and introduced some kind of system to take us away from God, because people are connected to God. Under Gnosticism specifically, it was I actually forget what the original Gnostic claim was, but communism is a form of Gnosticism, and their belief is that the demiurge, which is basically the devil, introduced capital to the world to separate us from our godhood type position as a unified society.
Yeah, the demiurge is probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my facts straight, because I do remember this. The whole idea of like evil coming from a basically a god that wasn't supposed to be born from I guess what I don't know the proper term, but a goddess like called Sophia. Have you ever heard Sophia in Gnosticism?
I've not heard Sophia, no.
Yeah. See, what I'm talking about is there was like an actual practice of Gnosticism, which is not what people generally think of when you're taking those philosophy classes.
Gnosticism was once an actual religion. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like basically the justification, because like we're getting to Bible talk here, but with like the whole justification of like, well, why does like all evil happen in the world? And basically it's like there's a God that wasn't supposed to be born outside of the embodiment of good, and we just need to get to heaven in order to get whatever. It's too much to kind of.
But basically, these people, they see traditionalism, they see normalcy, they see common sense as all a kind of demiurge. They see them as a toxic thing that keeps us from being united. And to be entirely honest, I also haven't read Kingdom Come. Big shocker, I know, me not reading something. But it's kind of accurate though. The kids aren't all right, and the answer to it is, admittedly, as much as I hate to say it, is a pretty extreme atheist. Is general society should and does really need to move back to Christian values if we want it to be stable, in my opinion.
Well, it's basically. You go, Vaughn.
No, I mean, it's funny too, because Mark Wade is super woke. You guys know that.
Oh yeah, he is like
he is one of the main, like basically, like without getting into the history of it, like Comicsgate basically exists in large part because of Mark Wade. Like Mark Wade was the guy your boy Zach was trying to get his book in stores, and he literally called retailers and people who were like heads of Anarchy Press. Am I remembering correctly? He was basically one of the people that like blockade and forced like. So like for him to get, and we all see like, of course it's gonna happen. Because it's everything, no matter what. Like you see that they throw Chris Claremont, who is one of the most progressive writers, under the bus. Like they will always eat you in due time. You have to keep, it's like an iPhone update. You have to keep changing your values, or anything that could offend, you have to keep changing. You'll never appease people like this. Ever.
No, and then I think it was funny too. Let me go back to
it. But
what is it? The person said, crap, maybe I saw it before, but basically like, yeah, she's trying to read, he is trying to read more. So it's like, this is one of the first comics they probably took up, and they're like, oh, cool, controversy, let me go pick up more. And, basically read it and give my opinion. They don't actually care about the actual content that's there. It's like, you really want to jump into this just so you can change it. That's pretty crazy.
The thing is, people like Mark Waid, like this writer, like all these people. I mean, we've spoken about it before, Bat Sauce, is, these characters are so deeply misunderstood, especially by the people who are writing it. And it's all because all of these tourists have come in and dominated the character. Every Superman has to be the Injustice Superman now, because that's all they understand. Every single Wonder Woman has to be the embodiment of human rights, because that's what these tourists think she is. Every single one of these people, they know nothing about the characters. They only read the highly controversial and limited runs, and they think that those are representative of every run.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that. I used to do it, read, because they incentivize trades, and most of what I have for DC was trade stories like this, but I'd always usually Wikipedia the characters, which is fine, but you don't get the full depth of it,
YouTube the crap out of them,
or YouTube, or YouTube that too, but it's but regardless of that, this is not that, I don't know what kind of comics this person likes genuinely, could we see
probably yaoi on webtoons. No, I'm not even joking. That's probably.
Well, I mean, that is one of the most prominent comic types right now. So, but I've been in a lot of arguments.
Yeah.
Basically, my Instagram profile, my profile picture on Instagram is Wonder Woman, but it's specifically her saying "I can't even Ollie." Basically, her just being really mad at Oliver Queen for being a dipshit, because I really liked Oliver Queen when I was younger. And whenever I'm in an argument, people are like, Wonder Woman would never, or Wonder Woman would hate you. I'm like, okay. Wonder Woman's also a warmonger and a sexist. Why do I care?
Depending on the writer.
Yeah.
I mean, she could listen. The character is definitely, I would argue, more feminist and whatever. But she's, that's the thing. Green Arrow is very lefty. You have characters like that. That's fine. But you can also have characters that are you can have both values, is the point. You can have your progressive stories, and you can have, if Kingdom Come, if you even want to call it a conservative story, which would enrage Mark Waid, that's fine. You can have others. It's not weird in the slightest. It's just I would never say it's weird to have a Green Arrow story where he's super liberal. No, it's not weird at all. That's in character. It's also not weird to have people go, hey, let's things got too edgy, let's go back to return to form. That's not weird at all in comics. Return to forms and changes always happen.
Yeah, and that's there's this term. Sorry, that specific term, weird. That's some woman shit. That's what women
weird.
say. Yeah, exactly. Give
me the ick.
Say. Yeah,
it's hard not to say weird though.
Yeah,
weird.
No, but she women, that's what women will call men. And I'm not at all trying to segue this into another modern day discussion, but this is that's what women do when they find an excuse, they can't figure out what about a man they don't like, or it's something that it's something infinitesimal that he did, and so they say, oh, he's just weird. They tried doing that shit to JD Vance on the
it's a lot
trail.
of things. There's some truth behind it. There are plenty of men that are weird, obviously, but it's it gets overblown, overused, and then it gets started thrown at people that it shouldn't have been, or something like that. I mean, that's usually what happens to most stuff. I kind of want to turn this a little bit more, talk about Superman in general, obviously, because there's a movie coming out, if you guys didn't know. But and this weird thing that just happens with what
is there? I didn't know. I know about the James Gunn biography coming out this summer.
Okay.
Yes. But yeah. I didn't know. I know Superman's gonna make a cameo in that. And the rest of it is just gonna be just James Gunn, James Gunn, James Gunn, James Gunn. So
yeah, and that's definitely a really shitty part about the advertisement's been about with that. But no, I mean, so there's an interesting thing with comics where it's like, yeah, you've talked about, it depends on the writer with Wonder Woman of how Wonder Woman is supposed to be written, right? Yeah. Like comics are this weird thing where it's just you get so many different writers to interpret a different character, but
DC
then it's just like
a big problem with it because they've been doing the multiverse stuff like crazy last decade or two.
You're right, but then it's just like, even so, it's like it's like now we have these characters on a spectrum, right? And I feel like the James Gunn movie's kind of been like some scenes that people are being like, no, Superman would never act like this, and then point to the Snyder movie or something like that, right? Where it's like, no, like I can see a Superman doing this, right? Like maybe not your idealistic version, but it's not out of the spectrum of what Superman's character should be. Thinking about like him flinching with the fire, right, in the trailer, I thought that was fine, whatever. But people being like, no, he should be completely stoic during the fire crashing over him. Well, how do you guys feel about that?
Are we talking the Superman? Can we pull up the trailer?
I don't want to play the trailer and then.
Yeah, Warner.
No, so like the fire explodes on him and he blocks the fire. But then when the Snyder movie, you have the explosion that happens in the courtroom, and he's completely unaffected by it at all.
Yeah.
To me, I kind of think both interpretations are fine, right?
Yeah, I mean, you had villains like in Superman the Animated Series. You had because I personally like a Superman that can be hurt. And you'll also notice, and this is a thing I always point out: comic characters and their strengths and stuff. People judge them by their like biggest feats, okay? But you also have issues where, hey, they're not bodying everyone. Like, oh, Flash can run this insane fast and light speed, okay, but he can also
Superman lifted half of a book of infinite pages, which means he lifted half of infinity, which is still infinity. Because what was that YouTube channel that does that? The Screw Check channel.
Oh no! You're not Death Battle.
Death Battles, Death Battles, and they did Superman versus Goku, and like every time they're just like they take Superman's greatest feats, and it's like, listen, I've seen multiple iterations of Superman getting knocked down by somebody throwing a fucking car at him. Like, I'm sorry.
Like,
if car can affect him.
So, like, okay, Superman the Animated Series. To give you an example, do you guys remember Volcana?
Volcana? No.
Yeah, so Volcana, she had fire powers, and she didn't beat Superman, but she was able to like do some damage. There's it depends, and power scaling is a tough part, but once you're like the fire explosion as in the new one, it's also.
Here's the thing: somebody shoots fire at you, even if somebody shoots water at your face. Are you not going to flinch? Yeah, do you not try to block water from hitting your face? Water doesn't harm you, but it's still wet. It's still a little cold. You don't want it hitting your face. I imagine it'd be very similar to Superman. Fire still is hot. It's still going to singe a little bit. It's not going to hurt him, probably, but he's still going to feel fire on his face. I doubt he wants that. It's natural reaction to block things from hitting you in the face, even if you know you're not going to be hurt by it.
I think digitally removing the thing hitting him in the head, that was actually a good touch. But I do think that criticism sometimes is valid, but I think I was also seeing everyone complaining about the law of physics with him picking that person up. I'm like, dude, you see that shit all the time. Like, are you kidding? Yeah. Like, it's these people and someone summed it up perfectly. Someone watched an episode of The Boys, and this is one of the phenomena. But again, I'm so against that kind of stuff because I'm like, oh my God, these people, they read Watchmen once, or they watch The Boys and you know what? It should all be like that. No, fuck off. It's why I'm actually interested in that movie is because it's pissing off those kinds of people, to be honest with you.
Actually, I saw a post on Instagram that basically boils down everything we're saying. If you want, I can pull it up. Basically,
you can pull it up. I'll say, though, it's like a lot of the criticism, though, it's like when you're saying a lot of it is very valid. And it's just like, what Warren was saying about the whole, this is basically a James Gunn movie. It's like, this every time when he showed that clip of his dog watching the movie and getting all excited, and it's like, oh, great, you made a movie for you and your dog. That should not be your objective.
I should rummage for it. Did you see the clip where they did like not like a side by side, but like one after the other? There are some visuals in James Gunn's upcoming Superman that are like direct rips, and it's not like one or two. One or two would be understandable. It's like 10 to 12.
I think I do remember.
Yeah, I did notice that. I'm curious if that was intentional or not, but it is very coincidental.
I'm gonna
just to show you real quick. This is what I'm not like got you or anything. I'm just like, this is what I was referring to as the Gnostic God, like a little snake.
Okay, you're talking about the religious belief of Gnosticism. Yeah. Okay, all right. I was on the philosophy of Gnosticism. So yeah, I think this pretty much sums it up perfectly about it.
You're Superman, the one who wears his underwear correctly. Just say you don't like Superman. No one's sitting here forcing you to like Superman. There are other angsty characters for you. The Punisher is right there. Homelander is right there. You don't have to sit here and pretend that you like Superman. We won't think less of you for it if you admit it. But what we will think less of you for is when you sit here and say that you hate all the things about Superman that make Superman Superman. Oh, I like Superman when he's stoic and when he doesn't have any emotions. Oh, I like Superman when he's depressed. Oh, I like Superman when the color grading is shit. That's not Superman! Superman is hope. Superman is lightheartedness. Superman is underwear outside of his costume and a big-ass bright cape. That's Superman. That's what he is. He's joy. He is the light that shines every room that he's in. The thing that y'all are in love with is not Superman. That is one man's interpretation of Superman that collectively the majority of people did not like. You know how I know that they didn't like him? Because they stopped making the fucking movies. If we would have liked that Superman, they would have kept him in the cinemas. If we would have liked that Superman, they would have kept him that way in the comics. If that was a good version of Superman, we wouldn't be rebooting Superman. So stop sitting here and saying that you love Superman with a...
Yes, but I do think it was
immediately.
Yes, send that.
I do think a lot of aspects of the Snyder Superman was pretty good though. Like I just think there's more aspects than the character's interpretation that was wrong.
There were. I'm gonna say something that's it's gonna sound like middling. There were elements of it that worked, and there were elements that didn't.
Yeah, sure.
Unfortunately,
yeah, no, that's what I'm kind of vouching for.
Unfortunately, there were a lot of elements that didn't work. Yeah.
The most important thing to me, if the plot is messy and whatever, I mean, it's just, I'm biased. It's the main thing to me is getting the characters right. Good characters can survive bad stories, right? There are stories, even in runs that I like, where I'm like, that was not the best. That was kind of messy. But as long as the characters aren't destroyed, and that's what comics are essentially, is if you don't tarnish a character, you can be okay. Why Batman vs. Superman didn't work is because they tarnished Batman and Superman right out the gate.
Yeah.
And you can't, like, people were like, oh, it's followed up with the Red Hood movie. The whole plot with Under the Red Hood was that he was mad at Batman for not killing. If Batman is killed before that, that story fundamentally doesn't work. Long Halloween, he's tracking down someone who's killing a bunch of mobsters. Why would he do that? He would just be hunting the mobsters himself and join Holiday. It's like, it doesn't, like, those things, and people are like, well, it's a different interpretation. No, it just doesn't make sense. And it's Zack Snyder is like, I think he claims to be a comic book fan. I don't see him, and to be fair, I haven't read a ton of long Batman runs. I've read bits and pieces, but I've read enough to know that it's not always... Even in Dark Knight Returns, he doesn't really kill. Like, people say he does, and it's like, there's one
he used to kill back in the day. I don't know. Like, look, as somebody who loves...
Yeah, do you think Zack Snyder has read those comics? Those 30s and 40s comics?
But look, as somebody who loves Under the Red Hood, the DC animated movie, I will say, the conclusion of that movie, I don't know how you come out any other way of being like, no, Batman's wrong, like, about not murdering people.
I will say that's that you're getting into the territory of like the distinction between the Robins, and there's actually I think I mentioned this on a previous stream somewhere. There's a comic where Batman admits to Damian Wayne. I don't know how long ago it was. It was probably like 2014. It's after Damian Wayne gets into, but Damian Wayne basically tries to prove himself, and he thrashes each of the Robins, each of the, like, his predecessors one by one. But then Batman talks to him, and he goes through each Robin and like explains their strengths and what makes them special, what makes them different, and where Batman wants to see them go. And he says Jason Todd is supposed to do the thing. Jason Todd / the Red Hood is supposed to do the things that the Batman can't. He is by nature.
Yeah,
he's
well,
supposed
look,
to cross
I mean,
lines that Batman will not.
I don't really know.
Nightwing is essentially a better idea of what the Batman is supposed to be.
Man, I don't know. I think they just never, like, we're kind of shifting topics here, which is totally fine. But it's like they never really knew what the fuck to do with Jason Todd. Like, essentially, I mean, I don't really know much about the Damian Wayne stuff. Like, I've seen a few of the movies, but like I've read some of the what is it? Red Hood and the Outlaws comics.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to like it because I like the concept of Red Hood, and I'm just like, they just don't work. And like all these iterations of, you see the Red Hood, Jason Todd, outside of that one movie, it doesn't work. And I'm just like, they just don't know what to do with him. Like, I feel like maybe
it's weird seeing Batman kind of like not, because he should be going after. That was one of the things that always bothered me. Like even in Three Jokers, where it's like, I get it, but it's like, why does Jason get a free pass? Like Batman would be going after anyone else who does what and it's like, I feel like it should have been like a concluded story with Red Hood's character. I think there needed to be finality, but branding, and he's a cool thing, and so we keep him around, and it just feels like we're in this limbo where it's
just got an amazing character design.
There are a lot of characters across the big two that they just have zero fucking clue what to do with them. The JSA is one example, except for Alan Scott, because of course he's got to, Alan Scott has to suck cock at, truck stops and shit like that. But
yeah, but like I said, back to the no kill rule, like I still think when you come out of Under the Red Hood, it's just like there's literally no reason not to kill the Joker. Self-defense. Like there's nothing wrong with Batman killing the Joker in that moment.
There's a reason why, and I understand the reason why Batman won't kill the Joker. And I do agree that the whole point of Batman not killing the Joker is a little bit that Batman's wrong. And it's always that if Batman takes a life, then what's to stop him from taking the next life? That's the whole thing with Batman. He doesn't kill because he knows once he starts, he won't stop.
I feel like this is kind of like people writing the story for it. Like I haven't seen.
No, that's a line from several of that's come from several DC projects. Both in I believe that was a line in the animated movie universe, and I know I've seen comics where that's a line in them. I can't say
which
what they
one.
Were,
I feel like I'm not saying that you're wrong. I feel like you are right.
I couldn't tell you the comic is from. I can't tell you the comic is from, but I know I've seen it in a book before.
Because I've heard the explanation on many chats from people talking, like explaining the no kill rule, and I'm just like, it just doesn't work. And I agree. Even if it is not Batman doing it, well, let somebody else do it. Like, fuck Christ.
Yeah.
No, like, this is kind of silly.
Joker should die. I mean, if nothing else, the state should put the Joker to death. That just.
Have you guys read? And this, I remember Graham Nolan told me, he's like, he thinks he and Chuck Dixon did the best Joker story. It's so underrated, and it's hard to find. It wasn't marketed well at all. But it should be more recognized. It's the Joker Devil's Advocate, where Joker is getting the death penalty, but the catch is he did not commit the crime. And so Batman has to basically find out who committed it before the Joker gets sent to the chair.
Interesting.
It's really solid. But Batman basically is stoic in his convictions that doesn't matter. We have to free him. And Gordon is almost like, well, he deserves to die anyway. And like, it's not about that. It's the principle of
justice. So
that to me is a really interesting interpretation.
Where's the follow-up though? Where's the follow-up cases of other murders that he should be prosecuted?
That's what I'm wondering.
No, wait.
No matter how many ways people try to justify it, it's like the no-kill rule just doesn't make sense.
It does make sense from a producer role. You know, if
yeah,
Joker,
you can't have Batman has no villains.
Batman's initial villain, his first ever nemesis, has never been brought back since he was killed in the first Batman run. Because Batman shot him down with a Tommy gun, and they've just never revived him or brought him back for another thing.
It's also
look. I will say, when people told Zack Snyder, they're like, "Don't put him in a position where he has to kill anyone." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the right thing to do. We don't have to question it. Why Batman's not killing people?
He just doesn't have to. Yeah,
he just doesn't have to. We're win-win situation.
Yeah.
But
like,
what were you gonna say, Vaughn?
Yeah, no, I think that's another thing too, where it's like you don't need the fucking trolley dilemma. Like, just have him, like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, just have him take down because people are like, well, what if it's this scenario? You created the scenario. You don't have to. That's a good point. Like, they're always pushing it to reinforce it, and now it's become a bigger thing than I think it was. I think it was just Batman doesn't kill.
No, here's
okay.
When someone does tries to pull the trolley shit, flip that shit back on them. Be like, I have my answer to that. But I want to see you write a comic where you answer that question, and I want you to see how well that thing fucking sells.
Well, I mean, there's a quote about superheroes that I've always really liked. What makes a superhero is that if they presented with a trolley problem, they would find a way to save everyone. I've heard that's the design aesthetic of a superhero. Really like that. Of course, it's not practical. I mean, hell, Spider-Man, the second Spider-Man movie, literally puts him in a trolley problem.
The West Coast Avengers fought all kinds of fucking wacky shit. I don't really care about practical, to be honest.
Well, all these movies, we keep on talking about it, like this modern thing. They keep on trying to bring up the morality of the trolley problem and all these things. It's like, can we just watch Batman be a detective and catch the Calendar Man or whoever, and then not have to worry about the no-kill rule for like a few years?
Yeah, so
I just rather hear about that. Yeah,
I think it's becoming a harder thing because I'm starting to kind of soften a bit on the no-kill rule, just a tad, in the sense that like maybe it doesn't have to be an OCD compulsion as much as it was.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm still like, he should absolutely have a no-kill rule, but I think we've spent too much time hyper fixating on it. And like a lot of people bring up, most superheroes have one. But like Batman has popular. One. And I think here's what it comes to is people are like, Batman is so dark and edgy and cool. Why isn't he killing people like all the other? He should be because he's edgy. And I think that's it. People don't really think about it that much with Superman. They think about it like Batman because everyone wants their Batman fan fiction. That's what Batman vs. Superman was. Batman is popular enough. People like the idea of Batman and his characters, but they want to have surface level interpretations of Batman. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Well, I'm doing Dark Knight Returns. I'm doing comic accurate Batman, but also he kills people every 2 seconds. But also it's like, okay, even if you want to argue he kills sometimes, he kills like unnecessarily. He goes out of his way to kill people. That's Superman, where it's like there's like 10 different ways if he's that skilled. And if anything, it shows that Batman is more quote unquote deadly, that it takes more effort instead of shooting that guy to fucking do all these gymnastics and shit to take out all without killing anyone. That is more skill than like putting a gun and it makes him like almost, it's like imagine if he was going crazy.
It makes the problem they have to solve more difficult, right? It's easier for it's more tension put into the story. It make for more entertaining, interesting stories. Yeah. But just like how these writers should steer away from it, I think we're going to steer to another topic. You brought up Graham Nolan, and I like Graham Nolan, but there is this funny thing that's kind of popped up recently. He's a little bit in the news right now. But if you remember, he had a tweet a little bit ago.
Oh, yeah. I didn't realize how viral
where basically, it went viral where he tweeted out this image of Bane and was like, this is an abomination. How do you guys feel about this image before I go into the actual news?
I mean, personally, I'll chalk it up to the art style. I'm kind of used to seeing Bane with a small head just because I grew up playing the Arkham games. I mean, Origins, his proportions are realer, but tiny head looks a little bit like Hassan. I mean, I don't know, for like maybe a special cover. Maybe like a
I'm right there with you. I'm like, I'm okay with it. I'm like, yeah, the head's small, but it seems to be a choice. But Nolan was like, it's an abomination. Do you know why he went so hard on this? Does he not like the writer or something? Or the artist?
I don't know. Because I know Graham, like, because I've talked to Graham, because Graham, like, he's, and sometimes creators will get like this. It depends on who you ask. Like, some people, like Graham, will be like, I'll be like, do you really like any of the other designs for Bane? He's like, no, I don't really like the way most of the people, you know, like it. He's
was he an artist for Bane? Like originally,
he was the original co-creator of Bane.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Him and Chuck Dixon created Bane. You know, but then there's you'll have some people that will be like, yeah, I don't really care. It was job, you know, whatever. So, but you know, Graham's being frank. I don't personally like the look of this that head. That seems like an odd head.
This is another weird thing about it is weird, man. It's like, yeah, he did create the design. It's weird to have other artists, you know, do official work. Like it's whatever if it's not official, but when it's official work of your art, it's just weird. I feel like it's easy to get your feelies in there. You know what I mean? But it's kind of just how the comic book business has always been. It's a weird concept. I'm more on. I read a lot of manga, and it's like, yeah, that's not an issue for them. You know.
Yeah. Also, not so much a problem with this one because look at Batman 2. He's also very stylized as well. Like this is just a very stylized picture, and I think the small head is designed to accentuate the big body.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And so I mean, so basically, that's because of. And let me share this tab instead. Oh, that's. Yeah, it looks.
Oh God, what the fuck? All right, people, everyone in the chat, even though there's only like 4 people in the chat, use.
I can't read the title of the article.
Use Brave. It'll prevent you from having this problem. It'll give the ads.
Yeah, I mean, I do have Brave, but Brave has been giving me issues, so I stopped using it.
I still uBlock Origin still works.
But basically, the second issue of
what?
See, I'm lagging up now because I'm pulling up.
You know, if you send somebody else the links, they can bring it up for you.
Oh. I don't think he can send anything other than
probably not
1 packet per second.
But where he's lagging? Anyone know what game's playing behind me?
Shaolin Monks.
I can't see. No. I have the stream.
MK vs DC. It says the logo is right there.
Well, he says it now.
Yeah,
I was about to suggest that, like, after because it was a 3D fighting style.
Yep, it's Mortal Kombat vs DC because we're talking about DC.
Oh, great!
So I figured I'd put that on.
All right, I lagged up so bad right there.
Mortal Kombat.
Oh, is he back? That's a shame.
Yeah. Wait. Shit. No. Wrong thing. No. Damn it. Let me try again. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All right. Let's see. Window. All right. All right. This is basically. Yeah. So Absolute Batman's in the news right now twice, right? Oh, fuck. This wasn't the article. Actually, fuck. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Sorry.
It's not. They need to embrace monthly comics, or we're not going to survive in a tough economy, bitch. You can't survive in any economy right now, bro.
Well, who made that economy?
Good point.
What?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Eh.
All right.
All
right. So basically, yeah, dude, my whole thing, my screen, everything froze for like a solid minute. So essentially, because Graham Nolan called Absolute Bane an abomination, the second story is going to be titled Abomination. I just found that interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny enough.
But okay. Well, let me go back to this other girl. Sorry, what are you guys saying? I can't tell if this is on my side or you guys just not talking or not.
It's definitely talking. We're talking. You can't hear that.
Can't you see my mouth moving?
Shit.
You can't hear us. This is phenomenal. This is Phenomenova.
Yeah.
Dude, my whole it's Phenomenova. Yeah.
This is so bad.
So I did want to talk about this article here. Whatever. Don't draw attention to it. What was it that was going on here? So basically, this is the writer of the guy who's kind of created the Absolute Batman series is talking about how essentially these monthly comics like it really is coming off like to create gimmick comics in order to create appeal to people. Essentially doing these like exotic type of versions of these stories, and that's drawing in people because Absolute Batman was pretty successful. So this is kind of, I feel like him saying that this is the way to go. I feel like comics are going to be going this way for a little bit, and I'm like, oh man, this is really gimmicky and gay. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Well, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and yeah, they're gonna basically the way that the most industries are right now is they have to go with the gay gimmicks, otherwise they just can't do anything. No one's gonna watch the damn movies or read the books because they're bad. No one's gonna want to invest in the characters because they're poorly realized. They have to go down these stupid, cringe gimmicks to be able to make it work.
Yeah, hey Wrangler, thank you for the 420. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't been keeping up. Because I was so into the crowdfunding scene, I fell behind on everything. I know I got to keep up with Ghost Machine. I've heard that's really good. I've just been so behind, but I do want to catch up on all things Ghost Machine.
I don't care for it, man. I don't care for it. Like I hate the idea of these gimmick things. I mean, it's to me, it's like a perpetuation of the issues that people have been pointing out for all this time about like we're tired of Batman's story being told over and over and over again. I'm like, well, now we just got to do Batman, but just kind of weird.
That's the only thing that
Wonder Woman, but kind of weird.
That's the only thing that sells for DC for like the longest time. I mean, Vaughn, I don't know if you've been, I don't know if you keep track of the ICV2 list. For a while, literally Batman and Batman associated titles. It was after the release of issue 1 of Superman Son of Kal-El. For the longest fucking time, like Batman and Batman associated titles, like Detective Comics, Bat Family, all that, Batman Inc. That was the only thing that sold. That was the only thing that was making it onto the list. Like, not Superman wasn't getting onto the list, which was fucking crazy. Mind you, by the way, Superman Son of Kal-El, issue 1 of that, was the first Superman run ever that did not crack 100. That did not crack 100,000 issues. Well, no, because Brian Michael Bendis' issue 1 of Superman did like 95,000 issues the first week, and then like it made up the difference in the following week. So I don't really count that, but dude, 70,000.
No, I get it.
That first one. It's craziness.
It's a strategy that's kind of working for them though, but like overall, it's a slow death, and it's been pointed out forever. I mean, it's this deep hole they've dug themselves into by not trying to make genuine pushes for new stories and have new characters potentially take the spotlight, where we're like 20 years past having a new character. So like it's like the customer base is not going to DC now. The customer base is still there. They're not going to DC for new characters. That's why they're only picking up the Batman ones.
Or if they do, they'll read old stuff, but even then, I don't know if that's always the case.
Shit, and then wait, I mean, there are guys out there like that are still buying issues of Spider-Man, but they're not fucking reading them. They're just buying them until issue 1000 comes out.
Yeah. I know multiple people that are like, yeah, I haven't read them in a while, but I buy.
So insane. But like, and again, I'm always going to compare it to like the Asian market, but with mangas, it's like, well, people go to Shonen Jump, like, because they're like, well, let's see what's new in Shonen Jump, because Shonen Jump has been producing new stories. They have a history of doing this that end up being the next big thing. That should have been DC 20, 30 years ago, but they haven't. So now the current customer base is all these people that are just read Batman and all the other big Green Lantern comics and just only want to keep reading those. So it's like they have not built a new customer base or even kept a customer base that like to consume new stories with new characters. It's just.
Well, we generally entered a gimmick market. Most things right now are sold based on gimmicks. Major fighting games like Mortal Kombat, the only thing that sells is whatever the new big gimmick is. Comic books are doing that. Comic book movies are doing that. It's all video games are doing that. They're just selling based on the gimmick. It's all about they can't come up with anything creative to sell it on. So they sell it on something incredibly superficial that nobody actually gives a damn about because it's almost interesting.
Yeah, it's industry trend chasing. I mean, traditional publishing has done this for the longest time. Entertainment companies have done this for the longest time. One movie comes out or one book comes out and it's a banger. But then, the C-suites, they see the numbers from it. They're like, oh, cool, we can make money off this. How did we make money off of this before? And they dissect it. They get the focus groups in. They get the consultants in. And then the consultants and the focus groups tell them, well, this was, YA dystopia, or this was murderous Batman. Clearly people like that. Clearly that's what made this successful, not compelling storytelling, not the writers we had on the project, not the team we put together for the artwork. Clearly it was this minor infinitesimal detail, and then they run with that, which is one of the reasons.
And as we can see,
which is one of the reasons why now I brought this up the other day. This is one of the reasons why there's now like 4 or 5 fucking like animated series coming out with that fucking Into the Spider-Verse / Arcane art style.
God, yeah.
Yeah, because...
No, it's... Yeah. I'm not taking it. But yeah, and they mentioned the Spider-Man comic that was popular, like I think like last year or something like that, where he gets with Mary Jane, which is like, yeah, it's nice and all, but I'm like, just go read the older comics. Like, stop.
Yeah, that's one of the things, too.
I'm tired of these gimmicks.
It's also when I'm newer, you have 2 options. And these are the things that aren't really... Like, I want to read, like, current... Like, so the only X-Men stuff I read right now is I'll typically read, so I'm almost on the Claremont original run, but in Claremont or someone else writes something set during that era, I'll go back because it's in the spirit of those characters. But it's like they're so far removed. Like, I tried reading side by side, and it's generally people are going to pick a camp to be. And if it's like consistent throughout, I just think character consistency is good personally, and a natural evolution of the story.
Characters at some point they have a lifespan, right?
But I guess, but I also
you can't. It's not that you can't bring them into like new stories, but it's like don't have them the focal of it. Like if you told like 10 like long arcs of one character, it's like how many times has that character developed? Like maybe he needs to stop developing. Maybe you can still have him though pop up as a side character or something like that,
Yeah, but I watched this video and it was about Sonic, but it just made me think of evergreen characters in general. That it's it's such a
Sonic's
simple character.
Of writing. Yeah.
No, but my point is that it's such a simple character that it's like, you don't like. He doesn't have like an origin story really or anything. You can just kind of go, this is him. He's always this, no matter when you set the story. Then the focus can just be on this, and he's on to his next adventure. Same thing. The Punisher, he's not going to be like, killing is wrong. He kills, and so that is like you can always come up with something new in that department. But
what? Tell me what's something new in that department?
What, with killing?
Yeah, killing wrong. What's something new?
What are you saying?
Because you said you could always do something new with killing is wrong. I'm like, oh really? Can you?
No. I'm saying killing in that department. He was always. I didn't say wrong.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I misheard you. My bad.
No, that's okay. Butt sauce.
Whoa. Hey, this is my show. This is the Battcave. What? No.
Now, I will say one thing with all this character development talk. When it comes to comics, especially ones that come out fairly frequently, or even just ones that are coming out every so often, unless you're doing something special, you kind of have to follow the sitcom serial rule. Characters generally they shouldn't be changing that much. You shouldn't have a lot of character development, especially when you're doing a weekly model, or a monthly model even. If I buy a book right now, and I read a Spider-Man book, I should know mostly everything about Spider-Man, as if I hadn't read a Spider-Man book in years. The characters should be relatively similar, and any kind of change should be very gradual in change. unless there's like some major event that happens that's advertised as a major event, so it's very clearly known that there was a change made.
No, don't.
If I read Spider-Man from 10 years ago and then Spider-Man from 5 years ago, I should generally be reading the same character.
Arza, please don't throw the fucking big event caveat in there, please, because they've done so much of that shit.
Oh no, I'm fully aware. I'm fully aware.
Like they just pack that shit on, and I will say that dude. It has been back-to-back big events, like, and I'm not even talking about like since like Secret Wars, like plural Secret Wars, when they like collapsed the multiverse. I mean, this shit has been like non-fucking stop since like Civil War, because like you had like, and that was what was Civil War like, and I mean the first Civil War, by the way. Vaughn, what year was like the first Civil War? Like 2000,
something like that. I never read it.
But yeah, you had
Civil War. Is much older than that.
Yeah, you had Civil War, then you had Silent War, which was between the Inhumans and the new establishment led by Tony Stark that came out of Civil War. Then you had Secret Invasion. Then you had Dark Reign. Then you had Siege.
Chocolate
then you had
Rain.
Yeah, no, and it was just back to back to back to back to back, and it was like. And for a moment, like like after Siege, there was a brief arc in like the main Avengers line, and then I think maybe a couple others called the Golden Age of Heroes, which was basically like, okay, we're returning to the era of heroes. We're gonna stop throwing shit up in the air and shaking things up. They did not. They did not stop shaking things up. And it's just been. They should have stopped. First off, they should have stopped at Fear Itself. They should have had somebody different write Fear Itself. They should not have had Matt Fraction write that.
Well, I don't know. Okay, yeah. But to add what Arza was saying with the, we should know who a character is when you go in. Yeah, very, very good point, right? But it's also like writers should easily be able to establish who a character is, their identity, everything in like 1 to 2 pages. So it's just like, for example, I have my Tale of the Dunce Whisperer. I might do a sequel. If I do a sequel, it's going to be something that needs to stand on its own, that I do not want people to have to read the first one in any sense to enjoy this one, right? In order to do that, I'm going to have to establish who the character is for these new readers. Yeah. And I plan to do that in like 1 to 2 pages. I already in my mind have an idea of how I would do that. And it's something as simple as like, show what kind of heart the person has. Like in Alita, they have the save the dog scene. That's a very short scene, and it shows that the person's caring for like little animals. Like little notes like that are easy to and quick ways to establish who a character is. But we just don't have talented writers doing that stuff anymore.
Yeah. You're talking like, so with Tale of the Dunce Whisperer, you're the original creator. You have a grasp of the character. We were talking about a sect of writers who are not the creators. So in order to write with an understanding of the character, what do they have to do?
Well, they have to understand the source material and then establish that in the next one, right?
Yeah, and you don't see that happening, do you?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, easier for the original creator to do, but it's the same logic goes for whichever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if I were to write for somebody's stuff, like, I would have to know who this person is. And again, if this is not like a sequel like Phenomena 2, where it's like kind of you assume the person has read the first one before they get into the second one.
I still give a summary for people that haven't read the first one. And I'm probably going to do summaries going forward. Now, here's the thing. Like, ours has somewhat of a point, but you're allowed to have the characters regress. I'll give you an example. The Invincible Spider-Man crossover. I knew what happened. Like, if I hadn't been reading what was currently going on in that Spider-Man. So you know what happens? There's a scene where he goes to visit Spider-Man at his job at the Avengers Tower. Then Aunt May comes up and Mary Jane comes up, both talking to him. And we go, okay, so now we know he's married to Mary Jane. They both know who Spider-Man is at this point in time, and he's working with the Avengers. I'm like, okay, so now we know everything we need to know. That's different from the typical status quo. That's fine to me.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, if you have really good big character growth with the character, like you go from issue 2 to issue 12, yeah, you might actually be looking at a different character. Berserk. Hey, whenever there's a chance to bring up Berserk, episode 1, it's like, yeah, that's you got the wounded, scarred veteran up here in the first, part of the episode. And then like flash forward backward into a completely different person that hasn't been scarred completely. Completely
the recap for the recap to get people caught up on like previous events. That's also easier in like comics and especially animated shows because you can hit them with like the 1 page like last time on Dragon Ball Z, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a lot of nuance for what I offered. Like if you're telling a specific arc, specific story, there's nothing wrong with having growth in that one arc. But when you go from one arc to the next arc, generally you've got to make sure the character returns back to a status quo position. It's only when you constantly violate the status quo between different runs that's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I think overall, though, we need to establish the core of a character before we make change from it. We could do it, whatever, but I think fundamentally changing characters routinely is annoying. People are telling me absolute Batman is cool. Part of why I'm not interested is Batman's apparently like blue collar or whatever, and I'm like, that's just not Batman to me. They go, but it works. I'm like, I don't care that it works. That's not Batman. Call it
a different character if it works.
That's why, and people are like, no, but it's really, I don't care that it's really good. It doesn't, I don't like that. And that's why I'm not interested in the absolute universe. Oh, it's one of the best things out right now. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's not Batman. It's not one. Yeah, it's masquerading as his characters.
I haven't been reading current Batman for a while. I would definitely like to. I don't know what's currently good. I know I missed the Snyder run. Apparently, I should have read that. Like, I know I should read more Batman, but this other world shit, I'm just not crazy about.
Yeah, there's other new characters, new stories going on.
Yeah. Hey, wait, okay. Where June starts in a couple weeks, you could probably pick up a Pride Month issue of Batman, Vaughn.
June? No, we got to focus on June 19th, the new federal holiday, which Vaughn has some reparations needed for that, stealing black people's superpowers for his self-insert character. And who knows, maybe his second self-insert character, Force, is also a black superpower too. Who knows?
No, Force, no.
But all right, we're gonna transition here. Let me see. Wait.
Oh, are we not that sauce? I'm not trying anything.
What?
Transition.
I see we're transitioning. I'm not trying anything.
So, do you guys know who Adi Shankar is?
Nope.
Yes, sir.
All right, so he's a guy. Dredd, the movie Dredd. He's a producer in that. He's a big name for that. Castlevania. Very recently, the Devil May Cry animated show.
That F word.
Yes. Yes. So people used to like him. They don't so much anymore. But yeah, I'll just we'll get into this. Basically, what was happening? I'll play the video.
Oh no! No!
Why would you do that?
What?
You were going.
Oh, fucking Christ! Well, whatever, man. I can't help it.
Just send it.
We need to phone up Darnell and make like an AI music remix of that.
But send it to me. I will play it.
Or like vocode it to the friggin' what is it? You shit posted in the wrong neighborhood.
Leave me alone.
Monkey style.
Talk about Devil May Cry.
You muted yourself for that.
No, it mutes when you play the clip. It mutes you, and it's taking longer than it should to unmute me. Whatever.
This frame. This is how Chad is looking at Bat Sauce right now. This is holy shit. How much is gonna go?
What are you talking about?
How is Bat Sauce monetized, and I'm not with this kind of streaming?
Because I don't get my subs from my live streams. I don't really have many live streams. I get my subs from my amazing videos that apparently you don't watch.
What do you say about my videos, Bat Sauce?
I'm passionate about Devil May Cry.
Holy shit. Okay. Somebody else needs to pull this up. I'm going to fucking DM it to somebody because it's just like.
All right. Who want to get it? I can get it.
Okay. I'll DM it to you, Vaughn.
Oh my god, you're leaking DMs!
Oh, shit. Whoops.
While he's sending that, I do have to confess, Vaughn. So I appeared on a brief live stream with Mr. Berger last night where we looked at some UFO footage, right? And he said that he was one of the first guys to go over this new UFO footage, and it's UFO footage in Jersey, right? And as soon as he said UFO footage from Jersey, I was like, oh, it's Vaughn, and then I was like, oh, Vaughn's forehead is probably going to be like taking up like the whole camera frame. Because your face is
so
like
basically the most recent controversy. Yeah, with the most recent controversy with this guy was over Devil May Cry. People are really upset because he turned it into a whole demons are not just pure evil, even though they like. I said biblically accurate demons, and people are like, "Well, it's not technically biblical." And it's like, dude, it's fucking Dante and Virgil, like from Dante's Inferno. These are supposed to be demons from hell, and he decided to make them like morally gray, but they're like a subrace. So a lot of people are upset, and they're like, "You're ruining Devil May Cry. You already ruined Castlevania." So a lot of people are upset with this guy, and he's just kind of a egotistical dickhead. But you can play the video.
Yeah. Apparently, didn't he make it where like demons caused 9/11? Someone told me that.
No, demons are basically Muslim migrants.
Yeah.
And us hunting down demons is just another version of the War on Terror.
I'm passionate about Devil May Cry. Like, I love this thing.
Yeah.
And I love this niche thing.
That's the most important
thing. And now
thing,
I can take it and hopefully blow it up to a point where I can expand it and there'll be more of it.
Yep.
Right. So, and I didn't know that there was a Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
Wait, he loves it.
I'm sorry, Devil May Cry 5 is like 10 years old.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, I got actually unhappy when they so I signed the deal and I'm like, yeah, great, I'm doing it. And then they're like, good news, we have Devil May Cry 5 coming out.
Were you hoping to play it before doing your adaptation? Is that what you're saying? Or just
No, I actually thought the franchise was dead.
Oh, I got you.
This was my thing. Like I like Dino Crisis.
I see.
And I thought I was bringing this thing back, and I'm like, oh, this is like a modern fucking thing. Like this is ongoing. Then I should have done Street Fighter.
He's upset he can't get the ego rise of being the one who saved the franchise.
Yeah,
which is insane. And this is bounding into comics, quote tweeting him after he's basically claimed that they misquoted him, and they basically showed the video back at him. They're like, dude, this is your own words.
Like that's literally what he fucking said.
Yeah, that is exactly what he said, dude.
I can't wait for the community, to show up on that. It'll be like the second or third one he's gotten after like blatantly fucking lying. Because you remember when he came out and he said no, what is it? The new Devil May Cry, it's not anti-religion at all. Stop, that's not the message behind it. And he got community noted, and they were like, actually, there's a lot of anti-religious messaging in this cartoon. I'm gonna call it a cartoon because
it's not an anime for damn sure.
Yeah, and he did the same shit in Castlevania. He just took a fat crap on it. And
Alucard,
so shit.
He had Alucard in a threesome with a brother and sister as he was about to get murdered, and then
I watched that scene and I was like, and it was a whole story arc culminating in these people he's helping. It's really fucking boring. He fucks them both, kills them both, and that's the end of the story.
No. Like, he got fucked by the guy. He's getting dick up the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Look, there's nothing wrong with that.
Ancestral threesome. No, there's something wrong with you banging a brother and a sister. And it's the literal climax of the show.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like everyone had their arcs in season 3, and maybe it's just me, but I everyone loved season 3 and Hector's arc, but to me it was just so fucking slow. and I was like, get on with it. Now I really like the magician chick and Richter. Like Hector was doing whatever the fuck the whole time. Alucard was just literally building up to the climax of his art was a 3-way, like you said. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And keep in mind, I know like nothing about Castlevania outside of that show. But I was like, as a tourist, I don't think this is what Castlevania is known for.
No, hold up, Vaughn. We're not tourists. You and I visiting Castlevania. We're not tourists. We're investigating, looking for something to like.
That's what a tourist.
No investment. No. Tourists come in with no investment already. And they have no desire to get any investment.
Okay. Well, see, maybe they're more like conquistadors.
I don't know, like I've always. What the hell, student God? What's going on?
Dude, why are you typing in your own chat, you loser?
I know.
Oh, wait. Oh, student God, what's up?
Yeah, what's up, man? When did he change his name to? Ha ha ha! That's great. No, but Castlevania, that show, I mean, the first 2 seasons, which like the first season was like really short, but like they were cool. They were awesome. And I'll say like even the following seasons, they had good action scenes, but it's just the story writing was just so bad. And it was the 4th season where we got that awesome line of him being like, oh yeah, vampires actually don't like crosses because they the right angles. It messes with their eyes because they're hyper evolved. Like I don't know what the hell that's about.
What the fuck?
Oh man!
Because Jesus Christ.
That sounds like peak writing to me. I don't see the problem here.
Yeah. Well, no, it's because they refuse to.
I'm not even a religious guy, but it's like, dude, removing religion from everything is like you're.
Well, especially vampires and Castlevania, like literally, like so the whole thing with the sun. Like they've always tried to change it into the sun being killing vampires because of UV radiation, but it's like no, it's because the sun is a symbol of God,
and light.
That's why it burns them.
And light, and they're dark and need to hide in the shadows. It's a very simple concept that child can understand it, but they need to like over intellectualize everything. Well, what if it's the UV radiation? That really fuck you. They're vampires. Like, oh, let's make it.
Yeah.
I have my own. I want my own spin on it.
If it was the UV radiation, then people with melanin would be immune. All the black vampires wouldn't be affected.
It is. It all boils down to everyone wants it like these IPs, but they want it to be about them. And you can leave your stamp on a character, that's fine. But they want it to all be. Instead of just being excited to write the character, like if I'm given a Batman story, I'm going to write a Batman story, but I'm not going to. It would be like if I'm like, oh, and then he gets, I don't know, like just I have to do like my own interpretation of Batman, so that way people, whenever Batman does this, like, well, that's because of Vaughn Coleman.
They have to make their mark on it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't just make your mark by telling a quality story within the rules of the universe, which is how people used to make their marks, Like, a lot of artists, they left their mark by just drawing that character really well, for example.
Yeah.
But now it's like, well, I redesigned the whole character, which you can do, but it's still, there should be like the core of the character intact. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's like every case is gonna be a different situation.
Yeah, exactly. There's always exceptions to every rule, but
the
general, it seems like
huge urge to take Christianity, and again, coming from a person who is agnostic, right? But the urge to take Christianity out of these stuff that are definitely Christian based, like Castlevania, and also Devil May Cry. Like again, fucking Dante. The main character's name is Dante. The other main character-ish is his brother Virgil. Both from Dante's Divine Comedy, which is, basically canonized by the Catholic Church. It's fucking Christian, dude. That's where everyone gets their concept of hell from. So, please, probably just, you don't have to shove in brown people allegory as demons in this fucking show. So just some nonsense keeps going on.
Yeah. I actually think it's kind of funny because that's like, wait, that's what you think of Muslims? You think Muslims are demons?
I know.
No,
Gee,
I agree.
You guys know. You guys don't watch my fucking shit. I made a video called "Demons Are Brown People" with talking about Castle or Devil May Cry.
Oh, I've been exposed.
Yeah. So they had a Blade show that was coming out. Oh, I think I heard about it. Wasn't it like super old though?
I thought it was a movie. Of confession, I've never seen.
What was that?
Wait, yeah, it was the
Movies.
yeah. They were gonna give it like the same animation style as like Castlevania, right? Something like that.
What were you saying is coming out?
A Blade show was supposed to come out, or
I did not hear about that one.
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about that either. I think there was like an old, like 20-year-old Blade show that came out that was like on a budget of like $10,000. But
there's a Blade movie currently in the works that's been basically perpetually canceled because of the fact that they want the main character to be 3 different women, and they want Blade to basically be the 4th main character.
But wasn't that's a movie that they were doing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
3 women, they're all going to be
I
snow
still
bunnies.
need to see Wesley Snipes, the original. I haven't seen it yet.
I know I've seen the original one, but it's been
great.
a while.
Oh, those are good movies,
all
man.
3 of them are great. I mean,
people don't like the third one. I love the third one. Got Ryan Reynolds in it, playing Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
You know, it's great. Yeah, this is
everybody likes the third one now. Everybody likes the third one now that they've seen how bad superhero movies can get.
No,
yeah. No, I liked it back then because I was that age.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what's this?
What's this?
That's probably it.
It's an animated movie.
Animated TV show.
When they did like the Marvel stuff, they did like a X-Men series.
Oh yeah, I saw
that.
The
Was
X-Men
weird.
Series.
2011.
That was like Proteus, right? He was
wait, was it Proteus? I thought it was like the U-Men. Did Proteus show up?
No, for the X-Men series.
Yeah, for the X-Men series, I thought it was the U-Men.
No, I thought Proteus was like the ultimate villain there.
Did Proteus come out at the end? Let's see.
Because I remember Myra McTaggart.
Moira.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I remember her being in there, and it was I thought it was about like
it was Emma Frost. I don't think Moira was in it.
Yeah, I remember Emma Frost was there. Cyclops. You had Wolverine.
It had a tiny lineup. It was and Beast.
Yeah, but no, Cyclops, by the way, looks really good in like that super intense and almost like Baki-esque anime style. Well, Baki's a little bit Baki, the muscles are a little more exaggerated, but in that X-Men anime, Cyclops looks really, really good.
You mean 97?
No, not 97. This is an older anime. Yeah,
they actually did make an X-Men anime.
Yes, it was like 8 episodes.
Was not aware of that.
Yeah,
Warren Ellis wrote
great.
It. Jack. I guess it was. That's interesting. But yeah, I thought it was all right. Thought it was fine, but it was like mostly in line with the characters.
I only watched a few episodes of it. People kept on talking about how good it was. I guess I never read that comic series that was referencing, and I just didn't like the direction they were taking with Magneto and Rogue. I don't know. I didn't like that.
That's the X-Men 97 you're talking. See, X-Men, that's
right. Yeah. I mean, I watched the 95. I watched the old one. Okay. Oh, the anime. Oh, sorry. Yes. I pulled up a new tab, so I lagged out for like another minute.
Oh, really?
No, I never saw the anime, but
yes.
No, I thought you guys were talking about
Proteus was not in that.
Proteus? Who the fuck's Proteus?
He's like Myra McTaggart's son.
Yeah,
he's like a super powerful mutant, but his powers are so
reality bending, and literally it's so powerful that it eats away his own flesh. So he has to constantly find new sources of like people to possess. Eats them up. Next person eats them up. Next person eats them up. I've read Kings of Pain recently, which even though it was like the last crossover event like of annuals for the Claremont era, but it wasn't by Claremont. It was Fabian Nicieza. And it's depressing. They basically have to tell him to like kill, to like end himself. Have you read that story? It's messed up.
No.
It's sad. Yeah, they're like, man, you're kind of causing a lot of problems. You should just go back to being dead. And he's like, okay.
I saw that like one comic issue of or like Wolverine. It's kind of like I think it was just one time, but there was like Wolverine basically was getting sent out by Professor X to kill mutants that had powers that just basically are just completely unstable. Like,
I remember there was seeing one where it was like a kid who like had extreme radiation output and he had to go kill this kid.
That's what I'm talking about.
I've heard that's a really good issue. Isn't that Ultimate? Yeah, I heard that was really solid.
It was great. Yeah,
it's like sad.
Mm-hmm.
Batman be like, no, you're going to jail.
Kills everyone at Arkham.
Yeah,
that would be an interesting dilemma. But again, you don't put Cyclops or you don't put Batman in that kind of story because it's just not.
Yeah, I mean that's why
you don't put
kill
Superman
rule. Only a handful of characters actually have a no kill rule.
You put someone like Wolverine in that situation, in my opinion, because people always want to. It's like you don't have to test every boundary. It's okay to just kind of go.
Wait, Vaughn, do you remember? Did you ever read Superior Spider-Man?
No.
Oh, okay, shit. I was gonna ask you because I can't remember. There's it's. For those of you who don't know, Superior Spider-Man is where as Dr. Octopus is dying, he switches bodies with Peter Parker and leaves the mind of Peter Parker in his dying corpse, and he takes over Spider-Man's body. And basically Dr. Octopus becomes Spider-Man. And it's actually like pretty decent. I don't like it. There were elements of it that needed some refinement. And Dr. Octopus's story should have ended there because that would have been a fantastic send off because you see him like change as a person like throughout the whole of it. But there's this one part where he comes to blows with Spider-Man's no killing dilemma because there's a villain called Massacre. Massacre is basically this guy. He has like some kind of brain injury that completely destroyed his ability to feel emotion. And so now he just goes around just butchering as many people as possible. And after Massacre just murks a bunch of people, I can't remember if Doc Ock / Spidey actually kills him or not.
Wow, sounds gay.
Yeah, I never kept up again with most current stuff. And
there was actually
I wish there was an ongoing I was reading.
There were actually some like cool moments of it, and how it ends is also great because the way that Superior Spider-Man comes to a close is that the Green Goblin, after being humiliated at the hands of Avengers during Siege and stuff, Green Goblin makes a comeback. He realized that it's Dr. Octopus in Peter's body, and he just beats the fucking brakes off him and just humiliates him like time after time. Like, and like for example, he's got like Dr. Octopus deploys all these spider bots across the island of Manhattan to put the entire island under surveillance so he can catch criminals.
It's not very octopus of him.
No.
Because he's in Spider-Man's body. Pay attention.
But yeah, no,
I know
it's because he switches bodies with Peter. Because he switches bodies with Peter. But then here's the thing: the Green Goblin, who leads this like street gang of like goblins now, he gets a hold of them and he reprograms them so that anything that sees like a goblin symbol or a goblin map it's like basically invisible to the spider bots. So he just trounces him like back to back to back, and eventually, Doc Ock, he just reaches this point where he's like, I can't do this.
Monkey style.
Yeah, but it is cool, and the way there's this one. I'll tell you all about it another time, but there's this one panel.
Okay. I was like, you're gonna tell us the entire issue here.
We're kind of killing. Yeah. We're killing time on a random book. Did any of you guys read this Spider-Man graphic novel comic where Spider-Man?
What's that?
No, continue.
All right, did any of you guys read this Spider-Man graphic novel comic book thing where Spider-Man and Vulture fall into this vat that like makes them each like 15 years younger? Like Spider-Man has to work with a bunch of like, huh?
What?
and Spider-Man's gonna like work with this like group of like 12-year-old superheroes to become his normal age and stop the Vulture, who's now like 35 and hot and like really capable, and so that he can go on a date with Mary Jane. So he needs to get back to his normal age.
What are you speaking?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
It's this book that I read that I can't find it anywhere. I've looked for this book. I can't find it.
Well, we're not Google here, okay?
I'm sure it wasn't.
I was wondering when you guys might have read it.
All right, no, sorry, but Sandra, she's paid. All right, before signing off, I did.
What happened?
I don't know. I did kind of want to just mention this because I thought it was hilarious. So, what are you laughing at, me or this?
Like the face. At first I was like, oh, is it a variant? And they wanted to make her like brown, and then I was like, the face is kind of actually everything's fun.
Oh, this is like the best one, Vaughn. They get worse.
Yeah, I thought this was absolutely hilarious. I mean, it's really shitty. So Baldur's Gate 3 is a video game that was made out of love for the Dungeons and Dragons series. It's and I really enjoyed the game. But Wizards of the Coast, who owns the Dungeons and Dragons IP, they are bent on screwing over all of their fans and customers. So they sorry, I went to go read some. So basically they gave an FU to people who bought these like fan-made minis for Baldur's Gate 3, which this is how it was advertised, and this is what they got. And this box was like $50. So like, oh, you guys are really good fans of this? You want these cool like minis? Here, buy this. You're going to get these cool action figures, like, of all your favorite characters. And then, this is what you're going to get.
Dude, it's like the chicken nuggets in the McDonald's commercial. And then...
The villain when he joined your team.
Yeah, exactly.
This reminds me of Gumbo.
The little
dragon.
Yeah. It's like a side character in like that show or something. Oh, this is great. Oh man,
okay, it's not Gumbo. Gumbo's a food. God damn it.
Astarion's eyebrow, his right eyebrow is over his nose.
Yeah, it's like you can't even say these got like melted or anything. Like this is just how they made it, and it's like, man. Was this the terrorists? Did the terrorists do this? Like, I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. We were trying to be more diverse and letting letting Michael J. Fox paint them for charity.
Yeah. Maybe the blind children are painting it. But yeah, this is just crazy, man. This is like Wizards.
I don't know. That looks like $50 to me.
I know Todd McFarlane is looking at this and he is laughing his fucking ass off.
I should probably tweet it at him, man.
Yeah,
this
dude,
is great.
do it. See what he says. Please.
Wait, do you think they'll go up in value or will they go down?
You think they'll go up in value? Maybe.
We have to complain more. I think you have to make it a bigger
go up in value the same way a fetus on the black market goes up on value.
Yeah, I think we have to.
This one I can't figure out. There's literally red right here. And then, like,
she's got a head on top of her head.
These fans, man, these fans will like are desperate for anything, man. They're just like, okay, you hurt me, but it wasn't that bad. 3 out of 5 stars. Like, bro, what's a 1 star for you, dude?
I should get whoever colored this to color the interiors of Phenomenal issue 3.
Please do.
Like, have the art in black and white be top tier, and then just dog shit coloring.
Oh man!
And then my artist, he just like ghosts me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm not working with you again."
Yeah, I mean, like, it's these type of customers are the exact reason why you had like big execs being like, "They'll buy anything we put out there."
They will.
Yeah, to an extent, they will.
There are some people who will. There are a lot of people who won't, especially not after this.
Well, it's all the delusional people that are going to cope.
The target demographic of this is. The target demographic of Baldur's Gate 3 are honestly a lot of the lefty, we don't actually pay for anything crowd. But they're also like unreasonably horny, so they'll pay for like figurines because they're super horny for the figurines. And they're also the toxic positivity kind who normally just eat up whatever slop you feed them.
Horny people will buy these?
No, yeah. What conspiracy theory rolling off here, man?
Bro,
listen, yes, Baldur's Gate 3 does have probably a mostly left audience, but it's still widely enjoyed by most people who picked it up and played. But it's just, we're just talking about fans of the Baldur's Gate or even D&D in general, right? There's plenty of right-wing people that are just not as vocal that play D&D. They're the target audience for it. All fans of this are target audience, and none of them want this shit. None of them are going to accept this.
I wouldn't pay for it, but I would here's the thing: I'd laugh at it for 2 seconds, then be like, "All right, I'm done with this." But
yeah,
are they refunding people?
No, I doubt it, dude. Wizards of the Coast.
No, actually, they are. No, they actually have open refunds. Anyone who bought it can get a refund.
This is so good.
Yeah, these are open refunds.
I guess
if you bought this, you're allowed to refund it.
Yeah, I mean, they had such a complaint, they would have to refund this.
I love it.
But still, man, this fucking sucks.
Wizards of the Coast, this is what happens when you let the new AI model paint your figurines.
ChatGPT, paint this for me.
Remember, Wizards of the Coast is obsessed with AI. WotC is trying to use AI wherever they can. No, don't forget that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that company, and I don't really have a problem with them adapting AI, especially in some of their game aspects. I think that could actually be pretty fun and interesting. But it's in the hands of a evil corporation like that. This WotC is the fucking worst. I mean, this is just a great display of how absolute trash they are. I mean, the whole news that came out a while ago when they tried to basically keep anyone from using their IP because they were getting jealous that Critical Role and all these other people are having such success using their IP, not realizing that it's just dude, the fact that the IP is free to them to use is the only reason you're having as much success as you're having. But they're they got all greedy and they almost completely caved in their business because of that shit. Yeah. But okay, guys, I think we're gonna end it. We're almost at an hour and a half. So, and plus we had 10 minutes of the other stream. So I think we're gonna end it here. Vaughn, you got anything you want to say before we sign off here?
Yeah. So Phenomenova issue 3 is getting ready. Make sure you're signed up for the email list. Also sign up for the Kickstarter. Do both. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And check me out. I'm going to be on Film Comics Explains channel live tonight, which is huge. This guy has 1 million subscribers. Huge. So huge. He just DM'd me and he was like, I'm a fan of Phenomenova. I was like, so.
Did you ask him why?
Well, because I'm a great writer and I am worthy of praise.
All right. I have
subscribe to my Epic channel also.
All right, Arza, you're up. No, I'm just kidding. Student guy wanted me to play that. For some reason. All right, sorry. You go. Keep going, Vaughn.
No, you know what? I'm sick of you, dude.
Right. PS4, do you have anything you want to say before we sign off today?
Yeah, so you know me, I'm BS4, and I'm the Blacksmith of Worlds, author of Young Monarchs / War of the 8 Kingdoms, which is available now. It's an epic adult high fantasy novel about 8 rural heirs who band together to save their world from all-out war following an insane week-long bender on mushrooms. I've got some merch up. You can get it right now. Stickers, keychains. I actually got some posters in the mail just now today. I will debut those later. later today, possibly. I don't know. I will have them for sale available. I'll be selling the first 8. I'll sell like 8 of them at Big Lick Comic Con Nova, which I will be at in Chantilly from May 31st to June 1st. And next year, book 1 of Fist of Terrorheim drops. Savage New Saga, drenched in blood and glory, carved in the wake of a falling star. So keep an eye out for that.
All right. Arza, what you got going on? Anything you want to talk about?
Once a day, every day at Arza Chats on basically every platform, I put out one video and one 1-minute short summarizing that video, kind of like Hypnotic or Yellow Flash, but more opinionated and a bit more of a gay person. You know, they're pretty gay already, but I'm a bit more, unfortunately. So if you guys like that kind of content, I do that kind of stuff. I've been sitting at 299 subscribers for almost a week, so if somebody wants to make my day and give me over that 300 hump, that would be phenomenal. Almost phenomenova-able. I'm gonna be hopping on over to Ryan Roger Athay's show on Rumble. He did just get his count banned on YouTube because YouTube's a giant little bitch. So go and support him over on Rumble. I'll be seeing him over there in about an hour, or about like 20 minutes or so. And then I should be on Rose Gallery tonight, as far as I'm aware. And then on Monday, both me and Vaughn Coleman, assuming he still wants to come, will be over on Reality Based Network with Ryan Roger Athay this Monday on Rumble as well at 3
It's
p.m.
funny. He was like, come on this show you've never heard of. It's like, they just got deplatformed. I was like, what?
It's always Vaughn's fault. Something bad always happens when Vaughn's involved.
Dude, every time. This is the 3rd thing that's happened. What's going on?
So, Bat Sauce produces a car. Bat Sauce gets into house fire.
You know how,
Vaughn gets a show taken down.
You know what it is? You know how, like, in Greek mythology, like, they couldn't gaze upon the true forms of the gods for it was too much? That's what happens when they have me on the show. The show can't continue.
A Drink with Crazy fucking ended.
Yeah, that was you. And then, yeah.
All right, guys, just sign up for my email list. It's going to be in the comments in just a second. I got projects coming out. I got an audiobook campaign coming out soon. You're not going to want to miss that shit at all. And also, I'll probably be on the Rose Gallery later tonight, so catch that. And also, Vaughn's gay.
Yes, he is. More than